Hello everyone and welcome back to another video where today we will be talking about 3Below. Ooh, something new again. Discussing their mythology and gods to see who they were and what they were in the universe. But before we begin, remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the rest of the channel, and this will probably also be my last video for this year. Getting a job, there's some tests coming up, so I really do not have a lot of time left to make any more scripts or record any videos. But in the new year, I should have something ready. Maybe. Look, I'm working on it. I'm going through a lot right now. It's too much, but I'll get it done, I promise. But you know what? I think it's quite ironic. Ironic? No. That's not the word I'm looking for. Thematic. That I started this year doing Tales of Arcadia, and I've ended this year doing Tales of Arcadia, even though I moved on to something new to this year, which was Invincible, because I really liked Season 3, even though animation could have been a lot better. But anyway, I'm sure that's not a hard opinion to get your head around. And yeah, that's kind of it. So, without any delay, let's get into it. The history from these two beings is actually quite well known within the universe, by those that protect their power and by those that created them. But first, we need to head back to before creation even had a name. Back to when creation itself had not come to fruition. In the beginning, there was nothing, only an endless darkness that inhabited the void. Then, in a flash, the first light was born, and from its creation, 3 beings were created. The Titans. Massive constructs that controlled fire, ice, and nature stalked across the galaxy, creating planets, ecosystems for sentient creatures to grow and develop. Nearing the end of their work, the Titans decided to create a race of beings known as the Acaridians, immortal beings that could finish their creator's work. And 2 among them would be granted primordial power in order to do so. These 2 beings would be Galen and Secklos. Galen would take charge of his people, and in one of the greatest displays of power, he crushed stars in his hands and created his home, his people's home, the planet of Acaridian 5, a beautiful and glorious world that his people could live in safety. Yet, during his great triumph, greed began to take over Galen's mind. He thought that he, and he alone, should rule over his people and the universe. So he used his great power against his people, threatening to destroy the very planet his people called home. There was only one being that could stop him at this time. Seklos, seeing Galen's madness, battled him upon the ground of Arcadia, and using her very own life force, created a weapon powerful enough to destroy him. After the fight, the royal house of Terons took Galen's core into custody, vowing to hide and protect it from any who would seek its great power. House Terons would then protect the core for many millennia, before eventually deciding to hide it on Earth, which, in their legends, described it as the birthplace of Galen himself. Now, I go way more into detail about these 2 topics in my Deep video and my Wizards video, both part 1 really. on how the core was handed to a legendary warrior amongst the inhabitants of Earth. He was known as Kanjagar. Kanjagar would take the core and hide it deep within Troll Market, placing powerful spells over the vault that would cause thieves to see their darkest reflections. Eventually, the Teron family would return to Earth, and along the way, their kids would discover the core lay within the depths of Troll Market. Venturing down into the destroyed city, the Terons and their allies would fight through zombie and robot hordes before making it to the vault itself. Once inside, the ghost of Kanjagar would reveal the history of the two beings before restoring responsibility back to the Terons, who then lost it. Galen's power is then later used by their enemy, Mirando, to become a god and conquer the universe just like Galen did. During this, the Terons decide to recreate the weapon of the same power and magnitude of Secklos' own in order to defeat Mirando. During this process, Stuart, their friend, discovers that the only thing that could destroy Galen's core is the twin cores of the royal family. Not wanting to sacrifice their dormant parents, Aja and Krell, the two Teron kids, decide to sacrifice their lives in order to power the weapon. But if the fight looks lost for them, their father and mother come back to life and use their cause to defeat Mirando/Galen once and for all. Now, there's a lot to unpack from this story to Galen's original home or creation being on Earth, to the ancestry of the Teron family in general. Something I also want to say is that it wasn't until making this video that I learned that Galen and Secklos were creations of the Titans, aka the Arcane Order. I always believed, and I might have even hinted in some of my videos, that Galen and Secklos represented the element of air, or storms if you want to be a bit more edgy, as they were the only two powerful beings that were off-planet, and one of the basic elements missing in the Arcane Order, or like the basic elements that the Greeks originally found, is wind. So fire, earth, water, wind. It's also pretty much confirmed that Seklos is the descendant of the Terons. Wait, what? No, the ancestor. Oh my god, how did I mess that up? It is also pretty much confirmed that Seklos is the ancestor of the Terons, which is how, when Galen's power was lost, they immediately took charge to take it. Which also leaves a lot more questions, like, were Galen and Seklos lovers? Were they married? Did they have children and they were the Terons? Because it never says Seklos was from Earth. It says Galen, and the other name for Earth is Terra, or possibly in their language, Teron. And in it, there's also just the other thing that in her hologram, she has the 4 arms of the Royal Acaridians, so that allows there to be a cool addition of the lore that is never really brought up, at least never in public. Still, the story of these two titanic beings is just one of the cool pieces of lore not often spoken of in the community. This is largely due to the lack in popularity of 3Below compared to Trollhunters. Trollhunters was a medieval type story of magic, monsters and wizards, while 3Below was a more sci-fi show about alien kids fighting the government and intergalactic conquerors, which, I mean, maybe that's why it's quite the same as real life nowadays, now that I think about it. Anyway, which is quite sad because the lore and stories hidden within this prequel is some of my favorite world building done for an alien race ever seen. But there's a lot more to talk about between the differences of Trollhunters and 3Below and why one is more like than the other. One has 3 seasons, the other has 2 seasons. One has a movie, the other one doesn't. Trollhunters was also the first series and has a lot more characters that went through, I definitely have to say, a better conclusion. Especially Jim, which I really need to make a video about one day. I've done Trollhunters for almost 3 years and I haven't done a video about Jim. What am I doing with my life? Also, I don't know if this is correct, but this... when did I start? Yeah, this is possibly my 3rd year now. I don't really do the celebration videos anymore because the last one tanked really badly. So, happy another year, guys! I know I say this a lot, but thank you to everyone. You know, I never really thought this channel would grow at all. I kind of just thought these videos would get like 10 views and it won't get big until like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'll get big. That's up to God, not me. But if I do get big, that would have been like 10 years and maybe I'd be like at 1,000 subs by then. But to be honest, there seems to be a lot more want for this kind of content than I thought. Okay, well now I'm rambling, so let's just get to the end now. This was also a pretty short video, so I understand that it may not do well or be ridiculed because I said I would do longer videos to compensate for less videos. And I'm looking at the timer. This is a 12-minute long video. I'm pretty sure my last one was almost 30 minutes or 25. I'm not good at math. Which is what I'm... Anyway, it's just taking longer than I thought, so in order to please you all, I wanted to share a little tidbit of the story of gods that fought for the very fate of their world. So, without any further ado, remember to like, comment and subscribe, and may the glory of Merlin be with you always.